To the Reader. Preface to the English edition. My book appeared in Hungarian only a year ago, but the publication dates of the Hungarian and English versions are separated by the turn of the century. We are just beginning to shape the 21st century, and we sincerely hope that this English edition of the book will contribute to making the next 100 years less painful and agonizing than the last. If there is a focus on the tremendous problem of cancer and allied diseases, I think we can reasonably hope for a breakthrough in the near future. The book has summarized our research results and experiences of a decade. It contains all the necessary information to successfully use deuterium-depleted water in the course of cancer treatment. We have made great strides in Hungary during the past 10 years. A growing number of veterinary surgeons daily employ our approved anti-cancer drug for animals, VTRADDW25. And an increasing number of humans consume deuterium-depleted drinking water, marketed under the name Preventa 105. Unfortunately, the approval process for the human anti-cancer drug is still underway. I will not go into details about the endless difficulties, failures and battles that have dogged my efforts to develop experimental proof, and then to make these new ideas known and accepted by the professional community. Unfortunately, without this acceptance and approval, my discovery cannot become useful for society. I do hope that in Hungary the application of deuterium depletion in cancer therapy can proceed soon. I expect the English version of my book to help disseminate these ideas throughout the world, promoting the spread of the treatment and enabling hundreds of thousands of cancer patients to fight their disease with courage, confidence of victory. Preface. Cancer. For most people it means a fearful disease. For the researcher it is a challenge. For the doctor it is part of everyday work. And for the tumor patient, it is a question of life or death. Although the disease is as old as mankind, it is only in the last decades that its significance has grown. In older times, when epidemics of cholera, smallpox, typhoid fever, and other diseases took their toll, relatively few people had died of tumorous diseases, a fact that can be attributed, primarily, to the shorter lifespan. In recent decades there are other diseases threatening the population. Heart attack, infarction, cancer, and AIDS. Perhaps in the decades to come, heart attack, cancer, and AIDS will be referred to just as cholera, smallpox, and typhoid fever today, namely, as diseases to which science has found the key. At the same time, it is sure that mankind later on will be confronted with numerous other diseases which are still unknown to us. It appears that while solving a number of problems, newer ones are being generated. With the development of technology, tasks arise which only 50 to 100 years ago were unimaginable to be solved. When the train first appeared, passengers were asked to get off after a day's journey, as great speed was considered to be unhealthy. There was a time when someone had to walk in front of a car to call the attention of pedestrians to keep out of the way. Today, we cannot help smiling at these stories. Trains rush at a speed of more than 200 km/h, cars flood highways and congest the streets of towns, and to fly over continents takes but a few hours. Development is great, but our fears have remained the same. In fact, it is only speed that has grown. The real essence of development, that is harmony with our environment, instead of growing, has diminished. We are drifting ever further away from the desirable state. During the last decades, mankind has synthesized some 6 million different compounds, of which only a few thousand are known exactly as to how they work and what their effects are. Strict rules have been set up to test a potential drug, but all the laboratories of the world and several hundreds of years would not be sufficient to examine or exclude the consequences of possible counteractions of a single compound with all the other ones. A requirement of harmonic development is solving a problem without generating newer ones. The results, observations, and advice included in this book serve as recommendations for the treatment of an old problem cancer and tumorous diseases, but we do not know yet whether it generates new problems, and if so, what these problems are. We can state, however, and with great certainty that, in line with the new principle, we do not want to poison the body with a synthetic compound alien to nature, but to use the same method as nature does, to interfere with the deuterium hydrogen metabolism of the cell, by saying that this might be one solution of the cancer problem. We do not think that all patients will be cured from one day to the other, but the feasibility of a breakthrough is close. When being asked about the significance of the discovery, I always say that it is something like trying to cure your fellow passenger's headache in a crashing airplane. The issue of cancer is but one among the numerous problems which is not worth much if we cannot solve the rest at the same time. Cancer, as a disease, in fact, is a signal, conveying the message that there are a lot of things on the planet Earth that we are performing very badly. Deuterium-depleted water, henceforth DD water, might treat the effect, but it cannot solve the causes which are present in developed societies. In this book we wish to speak about the facts, the experiments anybody can repeat, the joy and relief experienced by doctor and patient, and the act that deuterium depletion may be an effective way of treating tumorous diseases. With the help of DD water, we would like to defeat this terrible disease, and not have to watch helplessly as our beloved one or friends fall victim to the disease.